There's something, because all I know that works in the world is a relationship.
Yes, all right.
Okay, that's all that's going to work. It takes two people to have a
Yeah,
relationship.
but the
If you don't
relationship,
have a dream, fake it.
but the relation, you can't fake a dream.
You got to fake it, because we don't have dreams these days. How the hell can you have a dream? For what?
Well, it isn't.
So everybody's jiving, but let's jive on that level.
If I love you, I can't lie to you.
Of course you can lie to me, and you will. If you love me and you're going off with Maddie someplace, you're lying to me. Because what the hell do I care about the truth? I care if you're there. What Billie Holiday say, hush now, don't explain.
All right, I accept that.
Of
All right,
course
I
you'll lie to
accept
me, because
that.
I don't even want to care. What does the truth matter? And why are you going to be truthful with me when you lie to everybody else? You lied when you smiled at that cracker down the job, right? Lie to me.
There we go. There we go. Everybody heard it. I don't want no excuses from Torian now. Oh,
She said you lied to that cracker at the job.
right.
Right. Like, damn, okay.
Yeah.
See, and what year? What year was this?
This is 1971.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
jive turkey.
Yeah, you jiving.
What year did you say? I was reading Dossier's
This is
comment.
1971. Dante said,
1971. Okay.
yeah, Dante said, Naomi, right. I used to do this all the time. When I was married, I would come home upset from work and she would just get the bag. Yeah, that's what she's saying. She's like, as a black woman, you know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here and I'm getting this. All I'm getting is the least of you, right? Now, my only retort to that, right, would be, well, but damn, you know what I'm saying? I feel what you're saying, but where do I get a chance to be real at? Now, I ain't saying I should just come down on you, you know what I'm saying? But can I be real anywhere?
Yeah, and that's definitely why I could see both sides, because it's like you want your partner to be able to like express however they are feeling. Like you don't want them to like be hiding and lying to you about things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we want to get there too, Franchise Teeth. I see what you, Franchise Teeth, he flipped it because he was saying, you know, because now listen, that interview was in 1971. In 2022, most households, both people are out working now, right? So Franchise taking it somewhere. We'll get there in a minute, Franchise Teeth. Don't get it twisted. But he was like, a lot of women, they have a hard time coming home and being submissive. They go that Naomi's favorite word, and submissive after submitting to a Caucasian all day, right? So,
Yeah.
there's that. You know what I'm saying? But Torian, back to what I was asking a minute ago though. Like, damn, like who can I understand what she's asking for, but damn,
Yeah.
who can I be real with though?
I feel like I feel like they gotta compromise at the end of the day. Like, let him come in and vent, or vice versa, whoever want to come in and vent. You know, I feel like that person needs to know like how to communicate what's going on with them, and then also how to
Be
not
aware
let
of
it
how their
get to them.
partner's feeling.
Yeah, like be aware how that could come off to their partner, like, or like, hey, I don't want my partner to get only this anger of me today. Like, I need to show some love, get her love. Like, I need to put whatever going on the back burner, or just talk it out. I mean, talking helps a lot of stuff. Like, if you talk, vent, let it out, it should help where your mood not fucked up for the whole rest of the night that you home.
Yeah,
Or
I think her point to that is though, and let me make sure I get the proper credit. This is for those that don't know. This is Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin. I think Nikki Giovanni's point is that, yeah, but like you don't require that of anybody else. You know what I'm saying? You don't require, you know what I'm saying? Like you just come in and you just make them feel good, right? Like you present something that like makes them okay. But for me, I got to do all this extra stuff now. You know what I'm saying? And listen, I'm not taking nobody's side in that. I think it's a complex discussion that they have. You know what I'm saying? But
no,
No,
definitely.
for real. And Jay's mom was like, his face is like, damn.
Yeah, because he was trying to fight the argument, but he like, damn, she right about it. Got me there.
play a little bit more for her. Here we go. Let me play a little bit more.
For me, smile. Treat me the same way you would treat him.
I can't treat you
You
the way I
must.
treat him.
You must. Because I've caught the frowns and the anger. He's happy with you. Of course he doesn't know you're unhappy. You grin at him all day long. You come home and I catch hell because I love you. I get least of you. I get the very minimum. And I'm saying, fake it with me. Is that too much of the black woman to ask of the black man?
It's a hell of a question right there, boy. Fake it.
I mean, that's what she wants, and give her what she want. She wants you to fake it, nigga. Like, get
No,
it
for real. But at what cost? And me, like, just hearing this conversation now, of course, this was like a very different time. Like, because I'm thinking, like, this is when my grandparents were having children, right? And I know the issues they were having. Like, literally, he did have to deal with like racism on a job, and he was coming home like, like fucking having to deal with all this traumatic ass shit that was going on at work. And my grandfather definitely ended up taking that out on the family. So like there definitely has to be a balance. Like Torian says, like, have your truth. But right now, looking at it, I'm like, nigga, you just need to be more real. Like, if that situation now in 2022, if that situation is like having you all fucked up, like, you need to let it go. You need to let it go. So maybe you're in a better position to come home and be in a better mood, or find a way to transmute or get off that shit. I'm like, because I hate when people be talking about like work all day. I'm like, not y'all care about y'all job. Because I do not think about work when I'm not there. Like, I barely think about that shit when I'm on the clock.
You ain't never lied.
But here we go. Let's play a little bit more here, and we'll come back and talk.
For 10 years, so that we can get a child on his feet that says, yeah, father smiled at mother. He talked to me about school today. Who cares that you can read or can't read? Most Americans can't read. Most people can't read. They look at the pictures.
Baby, I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying, and I don't disagree. But no, I'm going to be honest and think about it really. I'm not so sure that is a human possibility. If I have to smile all day, and the cat on the job, the foreman, you don't understand why I'm smiling.
Mm-hmm.
I want to smile. Baby needs new shoes. I can't give a performance all day on the job and come home and give a performance all night in the house.
So one of the performances was done.
Yes. So you say, and okay, I might be willing to go with it, but who's going to pay the rent?
The rent will get paid.
Look, baby, I'm willing to play it your way, but you have to see my point of view.
I see your point of view. But the rent will have to get paid.
The price of the rent is my smile.
No. I don't want you prostituting yourself. I demand.
I don't want you prostituting yourself either. One of us has got to work.
Somebody got to work around that thing.
I feel that.
Somebody got to do so. Listen, to your point, Naomi, a lot of this we're dealing with a different time, right? And we're dealing with, even though it's 71, there's still some very overt racism going on, right? It's just right out in front of you, right? I think people might be surprised how much still goes on right now, right? In terms of people having to be at their jobs and deal with certain things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people, listen, man, for what's the song? Did a lot of shit just to live this here, my life. Listen, people do a lot of smiling to live their lifestyle. Don't get that twisted. I'm not saying that's good, bad, right, wrong. People have their feelings about that, right? People talk about your self-respect. I know a lot of people who smile and shake hands to live a certain lifestyle, right? Obviously, in 71, a lot of women would stay at home. You know what I'm saying? At that time, a lot of men, or a lot of women, if they did find a job, it was like housekeeper, stuff like that. And a lot of prideful men didn't want their women doing that, which I can understand that as well. But in this conversation, we got to feed these babies. Somebody got to do something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to bring you this stress every day. I don't want to be angry with you, but it's tough. And should you, the part that I struggle with, right, is, what up, Tier? Is this whole thing of of the lying part, right? The part that she says, just lie to me. Like, it's a tough, man, that's the way she says it. It's something that every time she says it, it messes with my mind. I ain't gonna stunt to you. It fucks up my psyche. The way she's like, is that too much for the black woman to ask of the black man? It is, maybe it is. Damn.
No, it's not. Niggas be lying all the time.
Right. I'm like,
I'm like, they stay lying.
nowadays, niggas took that shit to heart. That's all they do now.
They said bet.
Right.
I didn't love those, but I don't love those people though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love you, and I don't want to lie to you. But to her
But
point,
you would, right? But
Right?
you would.
Ain't nothing wrong with the little white lie. White lies are
No,
good.
and that's why I get what she said. Like, don't say you can't lie to me, because nigga, your ass will definitely lie. Okay. Or just like, I remember it was recently, like, there was like this salt challenge. Like, they would like get a spoon of the food they were cooking, but they would have like hella salt on the food, and they would have their partner try it. And so this woman, she had her husband try it, and like his face, you could see something was wrong. And she was like, "Is it good? Like, do you like it?" He was like, "Yeah." Like, he was like, "What you do different with it?" Like, see, you can make that lie, right? Or do I look fat in this dress? Y'all can do those little things, right? So you can make a little effort to not be bringing the bad vibes into the house, or like, because at this point we just got to find a way to transmute it. If you're picking up this much bad energy and that's how you feeling, like, yeah, no, we will have to figure out a way without having to be deceptive to me, because I get faking on the job. Like, they probably think I'm a nice young lady at my job, like, like, as far as they know, and I'm like, man, fuck these niggas. Okay.
What's that little thing, what's that thing on IG where they be like, that they just don't know, outside of my job, I'm damn near a gangster. What's that shit? You know what I'm talking about?
I know, but that's how I feel.
Yeah.
Like, what I used to be pulling up, look, when I had to work in the office, that I'm blowing down on my way to work. And I got like, I know, it used to be a whole nother thing up in that place. Sheesh.
I started that interview off in the middle. I want to start from the beginning now, because she said something interesting. And listen, let me say this. I love this interview. I watch this interview at least twice a year. I'm not making that up. I'm being 100% truthful.
Damn.
Just because as I get older, there's different, like, I felt different about this interview a few years ago than I do now. Like, when I discovered this before I had kids, or when I just had one young child, I felt a certain way. Now that I have two kids, one that's much older, I do feel a little bit different about this. Now me and my wife have gone through more stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, we've gone, like, so like things change. Your perspective changes as well as you get a little older. You know what I'm saying?
No, definitely.
Or at least you're supposed to get a little older and wiser. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
I was gonna say, you can only hope that you grow with your mindset, but some people don't.
some people don't. Here's what I tell people. Somebody told me this a long time ago, and I do it. They say, write stuff down. Keep a journal.
Right. I love
No
that.
matter
I've
what
been
it is.
journaling so much. It's my fave.
You said, hold on, what happened, Naomi? You black on your
Sorry.
whole. Oh,
She said she's been journaling so much. I
No, journaling is like one of my
It
favorite things
Yes.
right now. Like,
especially when you got a little cute one. My journal is so cute.
hilarious story.
no, I do. And I have so many journals at my bedside, like, for all my different things, because I need
Because,
them
like,
all.
it's interesting to sometimes go back and read some stuff, read a journal from years ago, just to see like where you were then, and then just think about like, damn, like, whoa, I was, I don't feel like that no more, or maybe I feel stronger than that today, or maybe I can express that a little different now. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you learn and you grow. But let me play the beginning of this though, because she said something that I want to talk about. And he corrected her. Shout out to him. He jumped in and corrected her, but she stood 10 toes. And I love this conversation because they both get to express what they're saying. There's no yelling. There's no cursing. You know what I'm saying? And they just have a good conversation. So here we go.
I think that the only thing that's changed in the last, since Martin Luther King, since 54, I think the only thing that's really changed is the black woman. And what she
No, I
said
don't think
is,
she's changed. I think she's become more visible.
I think she's changed, because there was a time, let's say my mother, my aunts and things like that, they would say, okay, if that's the way you establish your manhood, I'm going to go for it. And my generation says, hey, no good.
Okay.
You must
Okay.
establish
I'll
a
agree
new
with-
base.
I'll agree with that.
And we are, as a group,
I'll agree.
demanding that a new base be established.
Yeah, but be careful as a woman of what you demand of a man.
I demand that he be a man.
But you can't
because
say, you,
the
but you can't-
provision part.
Yeah, but you can't say you demand it. You have to suggest it.
Well, that's your ego that says that. No, I demand it. Now you deal with that.
All right. Okay.
Okay, I love that part. I love that part, right?
No, facts. And I think the better change will be to allow it. Like, instead of demanding it, you gotta allow that shit.
But you know what's funny? One thing that I didn't think about in that she said is that, you know, every young generation believes, you know, that they're ushering in something new, because she's talking about, hey, my generation, we're demanding, like she was like, yo, my mother and them, they wouldn't, but me, we demanding that you change your issue.
They did usher in a new generation.
Yeah.
But that definitely got us to where we are now. Because, you know, a lot of Black women bought into a lot of feminism things. I think around those times is when it started hitting a line. And it definitely shifted the culture. Like, it's crazy to even think like what things were like, you know, but it was just, things have just been out of balance, I think, between Black men and Black women. Like,
what do you mean by that?
Out of balance in the way, like, we're not seeing eye to eye. Like, we're not seeing the same thing. We're not on the same page. And I think it just has to come into balance that, you know, we need each other. We're for each other. Like, and that's all it has to be. Like, it's love. It needs to be unconditional love. Like, but I think things are changing back for the better. So,
Yeah.
in a way, especially now, like, I think women are coming more into their like spirituality, like their divine feminine, right? And like the women have to get into their divine feminine to be able to pull the masculine into their divine masculine, you know. But it all just starts with yourself.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead, my bad, Twain. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I definitely agree with Naomi, and I definitely see that change. Also did want to just, because Jasmine said, "What do you journal about?" I mean, you journal about anything. I got a regular journal. I got a dream journal. I got a journal for my ideas. I got this new one that's supposed to be. It's like a 3-year kind of journal, like a self-care one. I got like 4 or 5 journals though, but my main one is I just try to write whatever's going on. Like, it might be an everyday, like just what happened through the day, like a run through a summary, or I might just have one day I just write like what big things happened, or like what's going on in my life that I just need to like just talk about. And I don't want to talk about it to everybody. I just want to talk about it to myself.
Right.
Definitely like what Torian said, because I do have a few journals that I keep, like, you know, one for, I definitely keep as like a diary. It's kind of how I do it now. Like, because I wanted to start journaling just to come into more awareness of like my feelings and emotions. Like, how am I feeling about this? How am I thinking about this? Like, just like introspective things, right? Because like Roy said, you can go back and look at it and see the growth. Like, you know, I find journal entries for when I wasn't so like regular with it, and I'd be like, damn, or I found myself thinking like, I wish I had journals from earlier this year, but I literally started in like August. Like, that's when I started this journal. And I'm like, damn, I wish I had the tea on what Naomi was thinking at that point. But yeah, it's a very good practice, I think.
I have a 2-year video journal that I did from damn it, I think this is like 2014 to 2016, something like that. But it's like a 2-year video journey where like every day, like morning and night, I would go in with my camera in the bathroom and do like a 2 to 5 minute talk about whatever the hell was just in my head at the time. You know what I'm saying? And I haven't watched it.
But your
Wait.
mic went out.
Yeah.
Oh, is my mic not on? Yeah,
Okay, now we can.
Yeah, I hear you.
my fault.
Good.
Yeah.
Turn it down.
Yeah. But no, I would like to go back, but I had like a 2-year, like I said, a 2-year video journal. So it's interesting, you know what I'm saying? Because like, you know, shit, half the time I was in shape, half the time I was out of shape. So, you know what I'm saying? I'd be in there holding my shirt off. I'm like, God damn, yeah, I wasn't in shape. But anyway, okay, let's watch a little bit more of this because there's another part in here. So let's go. We'll get up to the part to where we started from. Here we go.
I'll even
I
go with
demand
that.
that you be a man, and I don't think that that's asking too much. Because if I wanted a provision, you know, say I would get a camper. You know what I mean? I would get a camper that provides things. You know what I mean? You get an army surplus kit that provides things. I need a man, and black men have always been offered to provisions. People are either going to eat or starve to death. You know, the men of the people were starving that they were still the men. Had to be that way through that horrendous kind of war, but it had to be that way because sometimes you are not able to feed your family. Sometimes you are not able to clothe your family. Do you then also deprive them of your manhood and of the input that a man has? Who teaches my son how to pee?
Yeah, but
You see?
yeah, but you're talking. I agree with you. I see that very well. But it's one thing to be in a situation where you see that you have, where you see a future, however bloody, and to be in a situation where you see no future at all.
But you are. It is incumbent.
If I know,
it is incumbent
if
that
I know
we see a future.
If I know what I'm demanding of you, in some sense, makes sense. If I know the fact the kid is not eating today or tonight or tomorrow, in some way, it makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's a lot to unpack right there, though, man. Shout out to them because they haven't had. Listen, he gonna start smoking a square at some point. I forgot what point. It's later on in the video. My dude so bad. James Baldwin just filed that square. So let me get this. Let me smoke this square. God damn, she going in right now. Let me let me smoke this damn cigarette because she on my head. But listen, I respect Nikki Giovanni so much in here because she's standing super 10 toes. And I respect James because James Baldwin is really, he's listening to her. He's not, because like I think what we get today a lot of times when we get to black intellectuals, right, of different genders, I think what we get a lot of times is one-upsmanship, right? Like I want to say something, but like I'm not even listening to you. I just want to say something that's gonna one up whatever the hell it is that you say. I feel like they were really trying to understand each other's points. You know what I'm saying? Even if there's some disagreement there, because like Tatiana said, she putting it on his head heavy. Yeah, no, she is. But listen, I know a lot of brothers that will say, shit, that's what you get, you know, when you're dealing with a black woman. It's somebody that's gonna really, you know, shit. They're gonna be able to talk that shit with you. Don't think you're gonna talk circles around them. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But I like what she was saying there about she demands that you be a man, but now we got to define what the hell that is now, right?
No, exactly. And it can't be just encompassed in one thing or
Right.
just in a few things just because there are millions of men. And like whatever they are doing, then that shit that men do.
Right.
It's all types of men.
Right.
But
exactly. I love you said that.
No, but
like how you gonna tell me I'm not a man, but if I'm doing this shit, then that's what I'm
right.
Like, yeah, I always fought with that feeling of people saying shit like that.
No, for real, that's not something you can put into a box. If that's like, if he's a man and that's what he doing, then okay, that's what men be doing.
Right.
That's what they did.
They said she right though about demanding that you be a man. What you mean? What do you mean when you say she's right? What do you mean? So go ahead, define what do you think that she's saying there, Dante?
Like maybe that he should be a man, and well, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
right. I just go back to if somebody says something like that, I feel like they go by like the stereotypic
exactly
things of
like protect and provide.
Yeah,
right. Because look, see, to Torian's point, like now you can't pick and choose though now, right? Because now you want me to be a hunter gatherer, but you also don't want me to grab you by your hair and drag you to the cave. You know what I'm saying? So like, where we going with this, right? Like, you want me to be this? You know what I mean? Like, what do you like? You want me to be the man that you want me to be? It sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because, like, you know, me being a man may be something that maybe you can't deal with.
Or my version of a man is different.
Right. There you go. Deal with that now, Naomi. My version of me being a man, can you handle that?
If it's not something I can handle or I don't want, then I'm free to leave. Is that how I take
you free to leave?
Like, because at this point, it's alignment. Either we're aligned, like we could be on the same shit, or we're not.
I need for everybody to stop right now. And I need for everybody to acknowledge what's going to happen to y'all right now, man. I need for everybody to understand. Listen, it's been a long time. He shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step to. What up, my guy?
The fuck is good, no strings. What's popping? Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Okay. Okay.
It's official now. Let's go.
Period.
Absolutely. Hello. It's so good to see you guys. I shouldn't have left without a dope beat to step to. I missed you guys.
What's up, my guy? Have you been watching so far? Have you been watching tonight's show so far?
Actually not, but it's just based on like time availability. Like, I was wanting to be tapped in, but I've been like, clearly Nas just turned 6 like years old. So like, my son just turned 6. So I've been so occupied in dad like mode, and like my dad had. Like, that's a wrap now. I've succeeded, and like, I'm like, let me tap the fuck in with my family.
Okay. And I can't wait to get your
But I know you guys were having a great conversation. Like, I know y'all were touching some shit tonight.
So let's go here. Let's play this for Lionel. Let's play this. It's about a minute and a half, Lionel.
Okay.
Let's play this for you. So you can get caught up, because this is what we're talking about. We're talking about the 1971 conversation between Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. Let's play this, and let's get Lionel's take on this. Deal with some of this, Lionel. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
There's something, because all I know that works in the world is a relationship.
Yes, all right.
Okay, that's all that's going to work. It takes two people to have a relationship.
Yeah, but the relationship.
If you don't have a dream, fake it.
But the relationship, you can't fake a dream.
You got to fake it, because we don't have dreams these days. How the hell can you have a dream? For what?
Well, it isn't.
So everybody's jiving, but let's jive on that level.
Oh, she's so
If I love you, I can't lie to you.
Of course you can lie to me, and you will. If you love me and you're going off with Maddie someplace, you're lying to me. Because what the hell do I care about the truth? I care if you're there. But Billie Holiday say, hush now, don't explain.
All right, I accept that.
Of course
All right,
you'll lie to me,
accept
because I don't even want to care. What does the truth matter? And why are you going to be truthful with me when you lie to everybody else? You lied when you smiled at that cracker down the job, right? Lie to me, smile. Treat me the same way you would treat him.
I can't treat
You
you the way I
must.
treat him.
You must. Because I've caught the frowns and the anger. He's happy with you. Of course he doesn't know you're unhappy. You grin at him all day long. You come home and I catch hell because I love you. I get least of you. I get the very minimum. And I'm saying, fake it with me. Is that too much of the black woman to ask of the black man?
Let's go, Lionel.
Okay. I'm just like empathizing. Like, I think she's very powerful. I really don't know who she is, but like, just based on hearing that, she touched my heart and almost made me cry, because I think about that sometimes, where like people I don't necessarily even care for or don't even know. Like, they may absolutely like encounter the better side of me just based on, like, I don't know what that is, but like, you just kind of project the better side of you to people you don't really know. And then the ugly is saved for when you get home. And like, then that's the raw, the real. And it's not necessarily concerned. You don't consider like, hey, my reputation. Hey, how am I coming off? You don't consider that at that point. So like, and then to hear that coming from her, like the black woman, is just, that clocked me upside my shit right there. That really just clocked me in my shit and said, bitch, if you can fake it that good, you better make it feel this good for real. Like, make it be this good for real for me. And I hear that, and I'm just like, okay, let me swallow that. I think that's deep. I'm just like, I've been humbled.
I definitely feel the same. Like even watching it this third time, like I'm just like catching it. It's still hitting me. I'm like, damn, like I get what she really saying. Like we really do be faking it. Like be smiling, be happy outside at work. Like with me, I be having to do it with the customer. I have to fake happy for the customers and all that. And I get home, I just don't want to talk. And then like, people who want to hear my voice and hear me talk to them, I don't be talking to them because I'll just be so over everything. But like, damn, that's not right, you know. Like, yeah, I should have that time to do that and be like that, but I shouldn't like let it be that whole night, you know. Like, I gotta at least give myself 10 minutes to just be mad at the world and then come back out and be like, hey y'all, how y'all day going?
It's like before you go there, it's like, okay, because you have to look at that because you're still self, like you're still a being and you're still a thing. So even before you can get to the space of like, here's what I have to offer you. Like if you're coming, like we're getting home and like we're to the point that we're depleted or we just don't have the energy to give, then we really got to look at that because what the fuck? Like how are we not in the space to where we have like energy for that? Like we got to look at the fact that we're being drained where it doesn't necessarily matter, and like where it matters, it's like, damn, now we're drained. Mm-hmm. Like hearing that puts it like that just makes it that much more real because I could have like felt that subconsciously, I guess.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I had my oldest daughter. We watched like the whole interview together, and like her first takeaway was, this is hilarious. She was like, both of them have very soothing voices. That was the first thing she said. She was like, both of their voices are very soothing. And I was like, you know what? They are. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is. But okay, let me keep going. Let me play a little bit more because James Baldwin is he's going to have a retort. So let me make sure he gets his retort in. Here we go.
For 10 years so that we can get a child on his feet that says, yeah, father smiled at mother. He talked to me about school today. Who cares that you can read or can't read? Most Americans can't read. Most people can't read. They look at the pictures.
Baby, I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying, and I don't disagree. But no, I'm going to be honest and think about it really. I'm not so sure that is a human possibility. If I have to smile all day, and the captain on the job, the foreman, shoes. I can't give a performance all day in the job and come home and give a performance all night in the house.
Okay, so one of the performances will stop.
Yes. So you say, and okay, I might be willing to go with it, but who's going to pay the rent?
The rent will get paid.
Look, baby, I'm willing to play it your way, but you have to see my point of view.
I see your point of view, but the rent will have to get paid.
The price of the rent is my smile.
No. I don't want you prostituting yourself. I demand.
I don't want you prostituting yourself either. One of us has got to work.
There you go. Somebody got to work around this motherfucker. Let's go. Let's remember, this is 1971. Very, very super overt racism, right? Heavy, especially on the black man at this time. What did Dante say? He said she wants the same effort you put in at the job. I agree, that is what she wants. But to James Baldwin's point, he's like, he don't know if that's humanly possible.
Actually possible.
No, but the issue is like, why are you faking so much? Why are you faking this much?
Right, you got
both ways, at the job and at home. Or I guess if you're being real, it's just being like, you know, fucked up about whatever is happening. You know
what? It's, oh my God. So for me to even go there, I think it's way deeper because I think that's like based on, like, I always just say like heal, like at the core of a human, like we're alive. And so if any piece of that is like damaged, it's truly damaged, right? So then as a person, that's real for you. And that's going to manifest. It's going to look like this. It's going to come out like that. And so for us as men, potentially we may all be damaged in the same way, especially as Black men. And then that may come off like, what's the word? Like there's empathetic, but then I guess apathetic, right? Like that could come off as apathetic, or that could come off as like you could give more, sir. When whole time it's just like we have to give ourselves. We have to be able to be that for ourselves first. Like that's what it keeps saying to me. Like we need to get back in the fucking to the drawing boards to say, hey, self, I'm not okay with this. That thing bothered me at that point. Moving forward, I won't accept this thing, so that whenever you're going forward through life in any other aspect, you're able to do 100% and not like 60 or 75. And that's based on like this. We got to go back to the drawing board. I think, right? Just me. Who knows? Maybe guys just don't want to give that or don't have that to give. I always feel like for me, like I always feel most charged when I'm like aligned and I'm like good with myself and I'm like paying attention to self too. Then like that's when I'm able to be there in the way that like no matter where I'm at, if it's like work plus family plus like immediate family plus friends, if my friend calls me, he needs backup, I got you. Like I have more energy to give at that point.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and Tierra, I hear you in the comments. She said you faking it so much for everyone else, and I got to get the negative shit you have on your heart from all day. Listen, and let me say this on behalf. I don't want to speak on behalf of man. Let me just speak on behalf of myself. It's not that I'm trying to dump all of that on you.
Yeah.
And I think this is what James is saying as well. It's just
Come on, Rolex.
Yeah, I'm not trying to dump all of that on you. It's just that as the man, when do I get to be real? You know what I'm saying? Like, when do I get to, you know what I'm saying? Like, when can I exhale? You know what I'm saying? Like, not to say that like me exhaling is just like cussing you out or demeaning you, but you know, like you got to understand on a certain point, and that's why it's always so deep when they zoom in on her when she says, "Is it too much of the Black woman to ask of the Black man to lie to me?" Right? To lie to the Black woman. It's like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to. Like,
yeah,
I
but it's probably because like we already know, and we right here with you. Like we right here with you, boo. Like
I know. And listen, always
we right here with you. So let's enjoy. Let's love a little.
I'm with you.
Let's smile a little.
Yeah.
Okay. Because smiling raises your vibration. That's the easy way.
I agree.
Smiling and laughing.
I agree. But like, if I get home right now, to Torian's point, I just walked in the house. Man, I might not feel like smiling right now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's harsh.
Yes. No, that doesn't. That's because that's reality.
Yeah, that's reality though. You know what I'm saying?
And you know, some like because I was listening to the show yesterday, last night, and you guys were like talking about like the younger generation, like potentially like listening more, or like where could like that listening be? And for me, it's not a matter of listening more, and I think that's what a disconnect is. And like you see, like bitch, you don't listen, and like, and then you like see like other side saying, well, bitch, look at you, and like, why would I listen to that? But at the end of the day, what is missing is like actual fucks up. People think listening is like, I mean, listening's powerful, but there's other ways. There's a billion ways to skin a cat. So like sometimes it's not listening, right? Sometimes close your ears, forget it. And sometimes just be there for a person. Sometimes just no matter what it looks like, bitch, that might look ugly for you. I might not agree with that, but bitch, I'm right here. How about that? No matter what. And however this goes down, I'm standing right beside you holding your hand. And like, you might not need to say anything. It might not always be the time for advice. And so that can make a person shut down sometimes. Like sometimes a bitch needs to just drive through the world and like bulldoze and like then like have you right by their side. And then once that's established, I promise you they're gonna listen to you forever. Like they're gonna always come to you before you even can say anything. They're gonna be at your doorstep knocking. But like so, and then that's the same with this situation with like man and woman. Like if you can recognize like, damn, the world is clocking this guy or it's having a toll on him. Like if it's like real, then like maybe it's a time to like be there in a way that like you typically don't come, so that you can open that up and you guys can move forward in that way.
Okay, we got Shorty Mo, aka Cozy Mo, in the building. What
hey,
hey guys.
Welcome back to the motherfucking show.
It's crazy. I hit exactly halfway through our normal time, so it's lit.
We getting ready to wrap it up, Mo. What you mean normal time? We getting ready to get up out of here. I'm playing.
Oh, I'm like, damn, I.
Like, this is our final thoughts, friend.
I'm dead.
Right.
Whoops.
Like, all right, bye, y'all.
See y'all Wednesday. No. Shout out to-
Okay, so
Go ahead.
in interview, does it go into like I just want to know like because I'm a real like overthinker, so I'm like I just want to know like what example was she giving that like her man isn't doing at home, like because I just can't imagine that somebody is like just he get home and he just like ugly the whole entire time.
You
I
can't
get this a
imagine
different time, so back then maybe it was like a time where he could be at home, but I'm like now. Yeah, we still go through like our racism and shit like that, but I don't feel like we dealing with nothing heavily like they were back then. So now I'm like, I don't think
Yeah, but it's
if I had
different.
a loved one at home, I don't think I could be mad all night, you know, where I feel like at some point I'm gonna let up and then they go receive that love.
I think it's a little bit different now because I think to your point in 71, what they're dealing with is a little bit different. I think, listen, and I love my black women. I love black people in general, right? I love black people. But I got to put that as a disclaimer because you know I'm finna go somewhere. But I think in 2022, the difference is, and Franchise Teeth put this in the chat earlier. I think some of the difference is that now, see, in 71, it was more the man was typically the one working. Typically, women stayed home, right? 2022, it's more two people working households. And so I think a lot of the struggle now for the black man is because listen, I'm making a little light of it with the song. Hey, did a lot of shit just to live this lifestyle. But man, you would be surprised in 2022 how many men smile and grin to live a certain lifestyle, right? And on top of that, now the stats say that black women are more educated than black men, and typically are in corporate America at a higher rate than black men, right?
And less patient.
You said right.
They know that now, so they're like,
right,
yeah.
So now I've had to go to a job where I've had to put on a performance, right? Now I have to come home potentially to a woman who might be making more money than me, right?
That shouldn't matter, but okay.
No. Hold on. It shouldn't matter. I agree. But I'm just setting this table for you. I'm a black man. I just came from a job where I had to put on a semi-performance to like, I don't really like these motherfuckers, but they pay me pretty good. So, it is what it is. Now I come home and my wife who makes more money than me, maybe she's not being Franchise Teeth put the word that Naomi hates, submissive. Maybe she's not reciprocating that shit that I need, right? Because like as a man, you want to be there so much for your woman, but like when I come in now, I've had this shit that I've had to deal with. Now I come in and you are I don't know how to put it, but like you are coming off in a way that's like demasculating to me on top of that. So I've dealt with that at work. Now I'm coming home and I'm being emasculated, right? That's a lot to fucking deal with in 2022. That's a lot of shit to deal with. Like, who am I supposed to be?
Something that you don't have to deal with, because I think that all that could be worked out through some healing, because like at the end of the day, well, you know, this was just a hypothetical, so we didn't have a thing of, what was happening while you're feeling demasculated. But if you've already been feeling this way at work, of course you would probably be even more easily triggered by something that may just be basic on the surface, but now you're mad because you feel like you don't have power at work, or you're in a lesser position at work, and so now you're just projecting this onto your woman at home. Like, you know what, you need to just do what I say. Like, maybe you're on, but
yeah,
I'm like, it just comes to, I don't know. Knowing who the fuck you want to deal with, and like letting your woman be a woman and the man be a man. But that could come with communication on like how y'all want to do that shit. Like,
Because listen,
we have to actually talk. Like, we have to actually have conversations like this, so like people will know.
I don't want my wife to, when I walk in the house, have to feel like, okay, he's coming in, let me do. No. You shouldn't have to do anything special, right? To like prepare for me to come home. Like, I'm just coming home. But I'm just saying, though, that like, you know, on a certain level, like, there are things that can be, there are trigger words. Everybody knows trigger stuff, right? Everybody has triggers, right? And I've already had to deal with this. Now I'm coming here and you talking crazy too. Like, come on now. Like,
and see, and I don't know like what it was like back in the day. But I think like now, like when you mentioned that point of just like where Black women are today, it's just like such a conscious space. And that's a phenomenal thing. Like it's a real collective, like conscious growth. It's really crazy how it's like a monumental thing. But like that's real. And so that has an effect on like us as men. And so then that kind of like, may make less patience or may make like come on, what the fuck, you know? But then that kind of between us as man and woman, that's our connection, is even having that sort of an understanding and like being able to connect there and like being felt there as a man is so like, oh my fucking God, like the world may not, but you. And you know, so like you lose a lot when you can't understand that, when you don't connect there, and when you're like adding strife there as a woman. That's the bottom line. And it's like, so that's why it's like it's very important. It's like, especially when you notice that thing, because I think women have that vision for a reason. And like they have a lot of intuition and vision. And like you can feel and notice a certain thing. And like, so if you can see like this guy maybe having it hard out there, here's what I can do, baby. Here's how I'm coming. And like before you know it, you guys have evolved into another thing based on that. Now he can lean on you and he'll lay on you and he'll let go.
Because you can change my energy when I come in the house.
Yeah, you can.
No, you definitely can. And women have to be aware of that power too. And that's why I said, like, you literally have to step into your feminine, where you're literally just allowing your man to be how he is. Like, allow the man to be how he is. But as far as, I don't know, I feel like what Nikki is saying. What's her name? Nikki Giovanni? Okay, yeah.
Her name has a ring to it too.
Yeah.
Nicki Minaj.
Let me do this to everybody real quick. Naomi and Torian have heard this like 5 times now, but this is probably the 3rd time. But let me play the very beginning real quick. I know. I'm sorry. But let me play the very beginning. I played the middle of the interview. Let me play the very beginning, and I want Sister Mo, aka Cozy Mo, to jump in as well. And let's talk. Let me play this. This is the very beginning of the interview. We started in the middle. Let's play the beginning.
I think that the only thing that's changed in the last, since Martin Luther King, since 54, I think the only thing that's really changed is the Black woman. And what she
No,
said
I don't think
is
she's changed. I think she's become more visible.
I think she's changed. Because there was a time, let's say my mother, my aunts, and things like that, they would say, okay, if that's the way you establish your manhood, I'm going to go for it. And my generation says, hey, no good.
Okay.
You must establish a new base.
I'll agree with that.
And we are, as a group, demanding that a new base be established.
Yeah, but be careful as a woman and what you demand.
I demand to be a man.
Yeah, but you can't
because
say,
the provision part.
Yeah, but you can't say you demand it. You have to suggest it.
Yeah.
Your ego that says that. No, I demand it. Now you deal with that.
All right. Okay.
Let's deal with that. You heard us.
I know. Talk about getting clogged. There's so much clogging.
She said, shit, I demand it. You deal with that, nigga. Shit.
I'm like, okay. Maybe it is just an ego thing. Because I was thinking, well, I agreed with him initially, like, okay, to even come like that, like I demand it. Like that, because that would potentially be a turnoff for a guy in like 80%.
Now, that's one of them trigger words where it was just
exactly
like,
I know, like you what? but really. But then it's like, okay, but why can't she talk like this stern and like come like this?
Yeah. She said,
yeah, it's the power of a woman though. I feel like it's different to say like, baby, like if you like do like come like this, baby, and like this comes like, I feel like it's different. You go further when you come like that as a woman. Otherwise, I can talk to the guys all day that are like, bro, like this doesn't make sense. Like logic. But
Right.
coming from you, it sounds different.
Talk to me, Mo. Let's go.
Okay, so it was a little hard to hear her because he kept interrupting. So I'm trying to like decipher between what was said. So I'm trying to understand the point.
Jesus,
Someone
Mo.
can you just summarize it for me, please? Because like
Okay.
he kept interrupting and I couldn't focus.
He wasn't really interrupting her like
He
that.
was, but he was like talking and kind of inserting his own little look. If you're interviewing someone, let them talk so that we can hear them.
But it wasn't an interview; it was a conversation. But
Regardless,
she was saying that her generation is demanding. So she starts off by saying that she believes the only thing that's changed since 1954, the assassination, or 64, whenever it was, the assassination of Martin Luther King, to 71, which is they're having this conversation in 1971. She's saying the only thing that she feels like has changed is the black woman. And he says, I feel like the black woman has become more visible. She hasn't changed. And she said, no. The black woman has changed because my generation, her generation, is demanding certain things of a black man. We're saying we're demanding that you be a man. And he says, hold on, be careful of what you do. You can't demand that. You can't demand stuff of a man. You can suggest it, but not demand it. And then she says, no. We demand that you be a man. That's your ego talking. You deal with that. That's what she said, which was deep. That was deep for her to say, yo, that's your ego talking.
like that.
Yeah.
And that is a lot of, I feel like, the problem, especially like the media age as well, even today, like that it's such a thing that it's like to be able to sit and tell women that because I'm trying to think of a situation, but just trying to tell women, certain types of men, of course, not all men, but a lot, okay, that try to make it seem as though just because, you know, I have these certain preferences, I have this certain thing, like trying to like basically make women bring their standards down because you don't meet those standards. And that's like a common argument all the time. And it's the reason why men get mad at you know, conversations like that, but with terms like that, because that is absolutely right. I'm absolutely in my right to demand more from you. And if you don't want to give what I'm demanding, that is entirely your problem. That literally has nothing to do with me. You go and handle that on your own. But like, I'm still going to be here demanding what I require from a man. And it's not any different because men sit and require shit from women all the time. So it's like, what is really the problem in that? It's because men don't want to be, a lot of the time, don't want to be told. They want to be the, you know, the leader, they're this and the third. But the problem is, I feel like, is that a lot of men aren't in a position to lead, but they want to have that idea and just that position regardless. But it's like, there's no growth that y'all, not y'all, but like, there's no growth that these men are like working towards a lot of the times. And it's just like, it just is sad sometimes. And like I said, I completely agree with her on that point. Like, this is literally all y'all's problem. And if you struggle in the future with finding a woman of, you know, good caliber, like, what do you want us to do with these outdated mindsets? Like
And I'm fair, and I feel like as a person, I'm so like, and it's not from as a person, but as a man, I'm so conscious of these things, and like hearing that like brought to my attention because naturally I'm thinking like to say I demand this feels a way, and it does say something to me, and it feels so. Then like when she says in response to that, like that's your ego though. Like, okay, that could be true, but then what do you do about the natural dance? But like, because then you start to, and I feel like that happens a lot where women start to kind of overstep and say, well, and like the feminine may have to be aware of that because like it can kind of be intrusive and like it's not necessarily giving space to the fact that as a man, that doesn't feel good. And so if we're gonna work together, like we probably should stay away from those things. Just like if there's something that's for me, that's really passionate or it's really important, like, no matter how big it is, for me to get like like to get big and passionate, that could be threatening and like that could be scary for someone, like, for a woman. And so it's important to like, no matter how big I may feel about a thing or I'm passionate, like how much I may want to demand in this way, like you're dealing with a woman, so you got to understand that, and you don't ever want to scare her away. You want to make sure she's secure and safe. And if I ever neglect that, then what kind of connection am I trying to build? And so then when you have women that are saying, well, what does it mean to say like, bitch, I can't be demanding? Then what kind of connection are you really trying to build? Because that hurts me. That feels bad to me as a man. So what?
On a side note, Torian, I just ordered a Tribe Called Quest T-shirt yesterday. I don't know why.
Look at my T-shirt, y'all.
Y'all are so cool.
What you got? Hold on, what you got, Naomi? What's that?
Wesley Snipes.
Oh shit, that's hard.
I actually ended up getting 2 New Jack City shirts for my birthday from different people. And I'm like, dang, what was in the air that people end up, because New Jack City is one of my favorite movies of all
You can
time.
watch that movie and see what the theme
Shout out to Raven and shout out to my mama.
You know what's funny? Naomi? Do you know how many niggas I know in the hood that got a dog named Nino?
Is it based on that?
Yes,
I would definitely name a dog Nino.
Oh, I know a bunch of niggas that got dog. Everybody's dog I know is named either Blackie, King, Nino.
Dutch.
What's another name? What'd you say?
I said Dutch. I know a lot of Dutches.
Really?
Yeah.
It's only like 10 names that black folks name their dogs. It's not a bunch of names. It's only like 10 names.
Not even, because I feel like I've heard a lot of dogs.
Like 4 or 6.
Yeah, like how
I'm like, even though my dog name is definitely Max. Oh.
You see?
That's such a dog name. That's why.
Max, like my pit bull.
Max, come here.
Maximilian.
Yeah.
That was our dog name. My first one. I missed that.
You see?
My dog's name was Tiny.
Hilarious.
But we also had a dog name who was real weird. Like her name was Girlfriend.
Okay.
What?
And at first I was so not, because she was supposed to be our dog Max's girlfriend. So I don't know how I didn't name her. But yeah, that was her name. And at first that was weird, but then I ended up loving it. Like
Rocky is definitely one.
Yeah. Rocky is one. My best friend dog name was Kilala, which is a Japanese name.
You would be complicated.
Kilala.
Kilala, but it's spelled Kirara.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I like the name Khalees.
We don't talk about Khalees.
For an animal or a person.
You have a milk. Do you have a milk?
Say that, Torian. We do talk about Khalees because she is growing her own shit. Like Khalees is doing a damn thing.
But why? I know Khalees is interesting.
She heard the call Mother Nature, and I respect all the people who did hear that call.
Yeah.
Start growing that shit. Like her and Drika Gates, like shout out to them.
Oh yeah, true.
Doing like the Black Farm Girl shit, because that's gonna be me.
Yeah, man. Let me pause real quick and let everybody know, man. We're gonna start the promo as of tomorrow. But we got next week coming on the show to talk about. I want to do a break tomorrow. Next week. Typically, he talks about education in schools, but next week we got the International Ifa Tunde, aka Dr. Umar Johnson, will be live with us right here on No Strings Attached next week.
That's what's up.
And we are gonna talk about black relationships, and I want him to also talk about specifically polygamy, because if you know Dr. Umar, he talks about, he wants 2 wives. So I want him to talk about the polygamy in the black community. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, maybe that should be a thing. We want to get that conversation on the table, and any other questions everybody else on the panel might have, we'll discuss. But we want to talk about specifically about black relationships with him. He is a doctor of clinical psychology. So we want to have that conversation. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Don't get it twisted.
I know, and I'm so unorthodox. It's just like, but who knows? That could actually be healing to the community. Who knows?
I would love to have this conversation.
Yeah.
I think it's in good timing with how like damaged and screwed the community is at this point. It's horrifying. It's horrifying.
Yeah. So next Wednesday, Dr. Umar. Y'all be there for the promo we doing, man. It's going down. Anyway, let's get back to the lecture at hand. Let me play a little bit more of this real quick, and then we'll come back and let's talk about some of this right here.
Okay, I'll even go with that.
I demand that you be a man, and I don't think that that's asking too much. Because if I wanted a provision, say I would get a camper. You know what I mean? I would get a camper that provides things. You know what I mean? You get an army surplus kit that provides things. I need a man, and black men have always been offered to provisions. People are either going to eat or starve to death. The men of the people were starving, and they were still the men. Had to be that way. Through that horrendous kind of war, but it had to be that way because sometimes you're not able to feed your family. Sometimes you're not able to clothe your family. You then also deprive them of your manhood and of the interest that a man has. Who teaches my son how to feed?
Yeah, but you're talking. I agree with you. I see that very well. But it's one thing to be in a situation where you see that you see a future of a brother. Within a situation where you see a future at all.
It is incumbent.
If I know what I'm demanding of you, in some sense, makes sense. If I know the fact the kid is going to be today, tonight, and tomorrow, in some way makes sense. Yeah, then I can be there. But it doesn't make any sense. And if I don't see anything coming out of it at all,
Even if you're not.
if you're not there, you won't eat if I am there. That's law. But I don't want to get bogged down into that. What I really mean is that yes, man can do that if he sees he sees that it means something. My father couldn't see that, and he was quite right because he didn't. Well, there wasn't anything.
There's some.
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
I turned off my mic because I wanted to get in touch with what everybody was saying. I'm sorry. I'm back. It's a lot to unpack right there, right? Because again, man, listen, I don't know what it is to be a black woman, right? I just don't know what that is. I can theorize, I can summarize, but I don't know that experience, right? And I would submit to black women that y'all don't know what it is to be a black man. And the black man that I am is different from the black man that Lionel is different from the black man that Torian is. Like all of us are different, right? But there's a different experience that's there. And I love what Nikki Giovanni is saying because she's sticking to her guns and she's demanding certain things. And I love that James Baldwin is taking the perspective of really in this conversation, I feel like he's playing defense. You know what I'm saying? He's not being overly aggressive. He's playing defense. He's hearing what she's saying and he's responding to her needs. But I think even in 2022, I think this conversation is relevant because I think that there's certain things that as a black man, listen, can I be real for just a second? We haven't seen outside of Sandra Bland, and I know Sandra Bland was a certain case. I know the case with I can't think of the sister's name. What's the sister's name that was gunned down in her house? Breonna Taylor, right? Mm-hmm. Where it was mistaken identity, right? Those are two cases that come to mind. But like outside of that, like it's hard out here for brothers. We see brothers get choked out and die. We see brothers get knees put on their neck and die. Like I'm not saying that black women don't have it hard because they 100% do. They deal with racism, sexism, all kinds of stuff, right? I'm with you. But man, as a black man,
but it's not as overt as it is for black men.
Yeah,
or as over the top as it can be, right? Like
as it
just
can
because
be.
Y'all are men, so
yes.
like, they're thinking like, okay, we're gonna really go hard.
Yeah, like, do you know what? Like, I don't know if a woman understand how potentially it feels if you're having dinner with your man and she says, and she starts talking about quote unquote what her manager or what her boss had her do today. Listen, I know it doesn't seem like much and it might sound like I'm being irrational, but sometimes as a man in your psyche, and again, this might be some, what do they call it? Toxic masculinity. This might be some toxic masculinity. I'm okay with that. But when you're sitting down and you're eating with your wife and she's telling you about this hardship that she's going through with her male supervisor, there's a sense, let me just speak for myself, not for all men. For me, sometimes there's a sense of of I don't know what the right word is, but like I wish I could like help you. You know what I'm saying? Like but I can't be at your job. You know what I'm saying? Like, and obviously, clearly, I'm not in a financial situation where I can take you away from that job. So there's this like piece of me that like feels effed up as a man. You know what I'm saying? That like you're pouring your heart out to me, telling me what you're dealing with, and I can't take you out of that situation. That's difficult as a man sometimes to deal with.
I feel that. I
Nikki
think that's definitely something that I have like I've talked to, my man about too, because like there's been times where like for me, I guess as a woman, regardless, I can understand his perspective in that way because I think that's where we maybe clash a little bit sometimes because I'm like, I definitely want to talk about things, but it's not in a way that it's like I'm coming to you to solve my problems. Like it's okay for us to still be able to talk about things and, come to our partners and have those things. I know as a man, you may have those certain types of ideas and, oh, like it's hard and I get that. But at the same time, just also understand that, like, even as y'all probably want sometimes, we just want people to hear us and understand and just like honestly, there's a lot of times where I'll be like, I don't need you to give me a solution sometimes because a lot of times I already kind of know the way, or I might already kind of have a plan in my head, but it's still something that I'm trying to express about what's on my mind and what's on my heart right now. Like, but I'm not coming to you to solve the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like as a woman, more of what women, I can only speak for myself, obviously. But if I need help, I'm gonna ask you for it. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm gonna say like something along the lines of that. But I just think that it's just, because I kind of came in partly whenever y'all were first talking, when I first came on the show about like, just kind of like, I don't know if I got this out of context, but kind of saying like, as men, just don't always bring certain things to these men, don't always bring, certain things. But I'm sorry, like, I feel like to an extent, fuck that, because we as women still go through a lot. Like, that's what being a partnership is. That's what being in, there for each other and supporting one another is. Like, I don't feel like people should have to tiptoe around things. Now, if you're just complaining all the time and there's no, end to it, then okay, I can understand someone getting frustrated with that. Like, all right, you just got nothing but complaints and no solutions. I can understand that, but like, you have to be able to, I feel like, decipher whenever it comes to being in a relationship with your person, that it's like you have to learn how to communicate with them in that way. I don't think also when it comes to saying like demands and stuff, I don't think that it should be taken as like in a negative light. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's how a lot of people will kind of take that. Like, don't think of it. Why is it that it's so like,
Well, can we
oh
look
my
up?
gosh, like that's such a negative thing?
I'm like, we
But
need
it's
to look
like,
that definition up because words carry power and they carry energy. Like, what does it mean to demand something? Because that doesn't feel good. When you can insist,
Now it was kind of a
like,
lot for
it can
me
be
too.
important to you. Like, you can say, this is important to me, or here's like a bite. There's a billion ways to like skin it. But like, for me, it's like, you're that bitch. Like, you're that kind of a girl. If you like, I'm demanding. Like, then I'm
and
like,
that's fine though. But I think,
okay, girl.
I
Oh,
really think, and you know what, personally, now this really doesn't, it's not on straight topic with, this particular video, but I really kind of wish we had that dynamic of like leagues, and people understanding that that person may just not be in your type of league, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, we as people have the right, and if she wants to demand whatever, she has every right to do that for herself. I don't know her struggles. I don't know what she went through. I don't know the type of stuff that that woman has endured through her life. So she's at a point where she's wanting to demand things. That's all on her. And if you are not the man to tolerate that, then you can move around. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like leagues need to make a comeback, because I feel like so many people try to bring people down to a certain level that it's like, I want you to be here with me. No, they're allowed to be up there wherever they're at, and you
Yes,
can
I
stay
hear
where
that.
you're at too.
But
You
that
know what I'm
adds
saying?
another category, because like, and then so that adds another category. But then when you look at just like humanity, we need to reduce everything. When you reduce, there's only the divine, friend. So we need to be reducing and simplifying. And when you reduce all this shit back, at the end of the day, that does not feel good. That's why I say let's look into what demand is, because
But
it's
to you, to a man who doesn't mind a woman that is demanding of what she wants, if a man is into a woman like that, there are men out there that like women who call the shots and be like, no, this is what I want, and I will not accept less.
but where's that
There are
coming
men
from as
that
a man?
like
Dorian, do
that.
You
you
want a
have
woman
a
to come
definition
come
of
like that? Why
demand?
do you want a woman coming like that at you like that? Why? If you're a man and you want a woman demanding, there's a reason, bitch. There's something missing, because there's no reason anybody should be coming to you, coming for you, or demanding shit in your life, because there's nothing anybody could demand in your life, bitch. It's free will. So at the end of the day, if you want to suggest some shit, or if there's something on your chest, you can say that. But what you're not gonna do is come around here demanding shit, because that's disconnecting. And so since I gotta say it in latent terms like this, here it is. But at the end of that, it's a divisive fucking energy. At the end of the day, if you want to build a connection, if you want to have someone with this person and it's not where you want it to be at, then it's not what you say, friend, it's how you say it. So you can say, baby, baby, baby. And you're gonna get a lot farther with honey in terms of bees than you will with some other shit. And so that's the T, because it's not about a woman leading a relationship with her demands and her pussy lips. It's about making sure that this hoe is cohesive, and that at the end of the day, we both feel good and we both are accomplished and moving forward. And you're not going to be able to make a man feel like good at the end of the day from the bottom of his balls when you're demanding things left and right. And that's the bottom line, because then you'll find shit like, right, things will come up. He won't be happy. It is about ego at some point, because we're men. We have testosterone.
Not the pussy lips. Hold on. Let's go. Hold on. Let me go to trash can. Hold on. Let me go to trash can Johnson. He got a very good comment. He said,
No.
he said, I think it's hard for a man to talk / vent to our partners because we're looked at as being tough or suck it up. Yeah, it's hard being a male in a relationship because the door only opens one way most of the time. I agree with that.
Okay, now
Look,
I have something to say about that though.
Let's go.
Now, if you choose for yourself as a man, because that is something that you seek, you have every right within yourself to demand that from your partner. And if they do not give that type of energy to you, whatever it is that you need, then you do not have to deal. That's what I'm saying. Like, just like y'all have the right to not tolerate someone saying that they got demands, that person has every right to have demands for themselves. Like, I just don't understand why it's even.
Because, friend, as
look,
a
but
What
did
human,
we
happened?
two
ever
different
get the
ways. Y'all think about it in two different
definition
ways.
No, it
of
didn't.
demand? What's the definition of? Because I kind of feel Lionel's point too, but I also have
Like,
like,
if our women are demanding, we're kind of in danger. Like, if our women are demanding shit, then that's like code red, bitch. Like that's not a good space to be in. Like, if something is being demanded, like that means I'm up to here. Like, I'm in this space now, and like that's not a space to operate. Where it should be coming from a divine woman, it's gonna be coming from a coochie lip, and like that's how you sway the guy. Because at the end of the day, that's what we want. So
Can
like,
I also
use that
interject?
coochie lip because it's gonna talk, and like, but
But
like.
I can also say that a woman doesn't even have to use the word demand. If a woman is still stern in the things that she wants, it's still taken in negative energy. Like, it's still taken as like, excuse me, a lot of the time, especially when it comes to black women. You know what I'm saying? I don't
And
even
I
have to
speak
say the
against that.
word.
Speak
I don't
against
even have to say I demand this. I don't have to say that. All I
yeah.
gotta say is that, look, I will not tolerate this, that, and third because of this, and I care for myself in this way, and this is what I want in my life. If she's stern about that, that still becomes a problem. So that's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be
I
just the
speak
word
against that.
demand.
She can
I
be
really still
healthy.
want to get that definition, but I'm saying, I guess in my mind, when I say demand, that's like a personal thing. Like, that doesn't have to necessarily be within that word. It's something that you are still.
But there's
it's like it must be. It needs to be.
Power in words, friend, because that word specifically says something else to a man, especially coming from a woman. So that's why I'm only saying, like, that's something to be aware of. As a woman, I say all the time, like, if you were to ever want to have an effect on on a man as a woman, like, become more feminine. Like, seriously, like, put some heels on, like, talk like that, like, come like this, feel like this to him, right? Like, because that's the effect. That's how you would have that effect. But then I feel like we're in a space to where women have this idea of like, tough and like grab my nuts and like I'm walking like that.
But we talked about that before. We talked about why women have become that though. Why in the beginning have women even had to become that in the first place? That's the whole.
I don't know. Tell me, friend.
We talked about that before. It's a whole circle because the fact of the matter is
the man didn't man up in 1971 when Nikki Giovanni demanded it. They didn't do
they
it.
Had to raise
they dipped out the house. So a whole generation of men came up with out the men. And shit went on from there.
It's a problem. It's a problem not necessarily created, but it definitely got strengthened because of the disconnect that was already there. So that's what I'm saying. Like this, like to sit and say you need to be this. Well, let's really look at the bigger picture as far as why, especially Black women have to become that. Like, and I'm saying also there is preference as well. Like, I know for a fact that there are men out there that like that type of shit, straight up. There are people who got kinks. There are people who got stuff that fetishes and things like that. That it's like, yeah, okay, that's the type. I mean, where we from, they act a certain way. You go up north to East Coast, the women a little bit harder. But trust me, they probably looking for that type of shit because that's just the culture. That's what they're around. So that's what I'm saying. Like, but I understand. I definitely still want to get the meaning of demand, but I mean, I definitely wanted to say that because we did talk about that one time on the show about, well, I think it was TD Jakes that said something, and we talked about that video.
Yes.
Let me get to the chat real quick though. The chat been going up. Trash Can Johnson said the problem is women want a traditional man, but they don't want to. They don't want to be traditional. They want to be the bad bitch or independent B. But they want a man to be traditional. I agree with that to a certain degree. Tierra said,
"Oh, it's lit in here."
Right. Well, Courtney Jackson said, "I feel like." He said, "I feel like this is a Lionel clone."
Not clone.
Oh my God! Don't be putting out those fake rumors.
I elevated the clone rumors. I elevated the clone rumors.
Okay, hold on.
I feel like she made it 2018.
It's a clone. Hold on, I got you. What? Hold on, I got you, Lionel. Hold on, I got you, Lionel.
Guess who's back? I'm dead.
Back again. Lionel's back. God damn it! Y'all didn't know who was back up in this thing.
Not what is the energy? This is the same energy, friend.
No, it definitely is.
You know what? I grew a lot in the past months too. So
no, but listen, this is all. Listen, I told me, Naomi, and Torian, who's been very quiet. We're gonna get Torian in here in a second. I was talking earlier, and I was saying that like this conversation between I think it's like an hour and 15 minutes between Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin. I've said it that I listened to this probably 2 times a year since the day I discovered it, because I think it's one of the best conversations that I've seen from an intellectual Black woman and an intellectual Black man, because they're not arguing, they're not yelling over each other.
Respectful.
They're very respectful. They're not trying to outdo each other. They're just really trying to come together and trying to like understand each other's points of view. So I love this conversation.
The context of it all.
I do want to play one last time this one portion, because when as a Black man, when Nikki Giovanni says these words, is that too much to ask? As a Black woman, is that too much to ask of a Black man? The way she says it. And again, as I mentioned earlier, I had my oldest daughter who's 14 watch this whole thing with me because I wanted to educate her on some of this. And the first thing that she said was, they have very pleasant voices, and they do. They have very, very, very pleasant voices, and you get kind of caught up in it. But Torian, do you have anything to add before I go forward? I want Torian to jump in here as well.
No, just play the video.
Oh shit! Torian said, "Nigga, play the music." Okay, let's go. Let's go. This is where we started at with Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin. Let's go, Nikki. Talk to him.
Something, because all I know that works in the world is a relationship.
Yes, all right.
Okay, that's all that's going to work. It takes two people to have a relationship.
Yeah, but the
If you
relationship.
don't have a dream, fake it.
But the relationship, you can't fake a dream.
You got to fake it, because we don't have dreams these days. How the hell can you have a dream? For what?
Well, it isn't.
So everybody's jiving, but let's jive on that level.
If I love you, I can't lie to you.
Of course you can lie to me, and you will. If you love me and you're going off with Maddie someplace, you're lying to me. Because what the hell do I care about the truth? I care if you're there. What Billie Holiday say, hush now, don't explain.
All right, I accept that.
Of course
All right,
you lie to me,
accept
because I don't even want to care. What does the truth matter? And why are you going to be truthful with me when you lie to everybody else? You lied when you smiled at that cracker down the job, right? Lie to me, smile. Treat me the same way you would treat him.
Clyde.
You
The way I
must.
treat him.
You must. Because I've caught the frowns and the anger. He's happy with you. Of course he doesn't know you're unhappy. You grin at him all day long. You come on when I catch hell. Because I love you, I get least of you. I get the very minimum. And I'm saying, fake it with me. Is that too much of the black woman to ask of the black man?
Oh my God.
You know what?
I'm gonna talk to
I
my
just
grandma.
realized was I'm gonna go back and like kind of contradict myself. I said like these was two different times, but watching that this other time, I realized like that Nikki Giovanni could simply be somebody right now speaking because
Yes, that's why I wanted to play this. Torian, go ahead. Go ahead.
That could be like a black woman at home right now. Like her man at work, but like shit. What hit me was when she said like we can't dream, and it's like some black people right now feel like they can't dream because like shit, I could be killed at any moment by the cop, And that's right now where like she's saying like we don't have no dreams, like because it's people out here who not dreaming, and it's people who not dreaming because of that thought, or because I might die any second. Like anything I do could take me out, possibly.
Yeah.
And you dealing with that all day at work. And even when you like shit driving home from work. So like it's like you don't get no time to kind of like be safe. So yeah, when he come home, he might be like a little on edge. And she's saying like, I need you to be present here, because like shit, I'm over here worrying about you.
Yes.
And I'm fearing for your life too. So when you come in here giving me all this negative energy, like it's not making me feel no better, no safer, It is just hard, like damn.
And one thing I'm gonna say, and thank you, that you really did a phenomenal job with like shining the light on perspective with that, because that's everything. That is like so relevant today. And then dreaming is everything. It's important that she says that, and the black woman's so important and divine. And it's important for her to remind us the importance of dreaming, because that's how we create and that's how we manifest any reality that we even have now. But at one point we stopped doing that and we started like just receiving our reality, and that led us to the point. But then I want to say to every black man, irregardless of any woman, irregardless of any person, like to the black man, because that's how you could have this black woman. I'm saying that to you because we are surviving a lot of times, and that it's important to be able to like earn and to be able to be in the world and like operate and not be threatening and like not come off away, all types of shit. So then like we're surviving so that we can survive. But at the same time, I'm saying to every black man, aside from that, you deserve, and everyone in your life deserves more from you than survival. You deserve love, like legitimately operate from love. Go back to your youngest self when you felt the most love and when you felt like you could shine like that and be that, please. Like for me, if you don't ever hear anything else from me, hear that you need to operate in that kind of a space, because that's going to heal the world. I promise you, that's going to heal our community. Be love and operate from love. We are coming from a space of survival, and we don't have to. We set the tones. Let's be love instead. I know that's all we yearn for, but I promise once you can do that, think of a magnet. We just need to flip the sides, because there's one side of the magnet where you'll try to do it and they push away. When you flip that side, it connects so easy. It's like, bitch, come here. And that's what's gonna happen. Love's gonna do that. So legitimately just operate from that instead of survival. We're seeing ugly things based on being in that space. But we can dream, and we can dream out of love. And we can do that for ourselves and for our women, for our children. And the community is gonna be phenomenal. It's gonna heal.
Yes, and I wanted to speak on it because she has said, like, he was like, well, because she has said, well, one is gonna have to go. Like, if you're faking it at the job or you're faking it with me, like, and you can't do both, one's gonna have to go. And he said, well, I can't lead a job, or like, we're not gonna have nothing to eat, like, we're not gonna have nothing. And she was like, or who's gonna pay rent? And she was like, the rent will get paid, but he can't even see, like, like, you will be taken care of, right? Like, because that's the divine feminine energy. Like, we're the ones who got the different vision, from the man, but that's why I got to be partnered up. You need literally both sides of the coin, okay? Because the man got the shit. And then she had also said, like, and just because, like, you can't, if you feel like you can feed your children, like, do that mean you deprive them of your manness? Like, when it comes to her demanding that you be a man, like, are you gonna deny, like, I don't know, teaching your children how to drive, fish, or like whatever skills, because there's so much more than financial. Like, I feel like the Black men have more to give than just like financial things. Like, y'all are way more important than that. And I don't think like people should get too hung up on that. Especially like when we know the system is against just that. But Black men too, if y'all know the system is against y'all and you got a Black woman that's getting it, like, try to heal whatever like money wounds you got going on, because like at least one of y'all are getting it, and you could still contribute and be a man and have your like place if you're handling things on the other way. Like, literally just be a father to your children. That's when men are in their most divine masculine state, when they are being a father. Okay, like, you're there, you're showing love, like, you're present. That's and it goes both ways for women that aren't in it, divine feminine. Just what Lionel was saying. Like, you also just even what Lionel was saying when he was saying that, like, the word demand makes him feel some type of way. So like, if that was a real conversation you were having with your woman, and that's how your man says he feel, you would have to also take that in account when you're talking to your man, right?
Like from, and I guess because things say things to me. Like I was saying, like if you're in a space of demanding, that's saying to me that like you haven't even been allowed the space to talk. Because like before
and that's the word I had said at first. Like, that would have been the better word. Allow him to be.
Then maybe there are women potentially that maybe have been in a space like, bitch, I tried talking, and like I have to absolutely demand. Like that's totally fact. I get it. But then for me, that says like, you can talk to me, don't do that, So I get that. That's totally fair. And there's a time to demand. Like there's a time for everything. So I will never like wipe that from the slate ever.
And that was a time when she was talking about that. That was definitely a time.
I hear that.
And that's why I'm like, I hear you, girl. Like, I definitely hear her. I understand your side as well. I think, and it's something that I've been trying to work on myself, but like trying not to take other people's things about themselves personally to me. You know what I'm saying? Because like, I feel like that a lot of the times is where a lot of the clash happens with people, is that, we do assume so much. It's like you were saying, like, that tells me this, but it's like, actually, it could be this, but that's where we start to clash, like, as men and women, is because we just assume that, like, and as women too, we just assume that, oh, as a man, like, you're this way, or are certain things. And it's like, I definitely talk, to go back on what y'all were talking about a couple minutes ago, as someone who doesn't even have any kids yet, like, I can definitely say one thing I have learned about parenting from the outside looking in it's one thing to take care of a child and it's another thing to raise a child. There's two parts to parenting. Like, so yes, I definitely agree with that. That it's like there's so much more contribution that you could be making than just financial, and it is definitely. I don't know what this.
Oh,
You know,
Mo, hold
we
on,
could have
Mo.
it.
You
What?
should have tuned in last night, Mo. We had a hour and a half conversation about should you what was the conversation? The conversation was about
Move out at 18. I
should
wanted
you
to
move out
know,
at 18? Yeah.
and you didn't send the link, fake ass.
Yeah, he always talking about something y'all should have joined, and don't ever send a link. Don't
I
ever
see.
tell
He was
us.
like, yeah, it was so great last night.
No,
It
for
was
Controversy.
it was
real.
up.
I'm like,
It
damn, did I
was
miss
On a
the
different
text?
time, like you'll be
it
on
was up.
longer, shorter. I'm like, okay. Anyway,
Yeah, no, but like we had a great
Because I'm
conversation
like,
about like
yes, who didn't move out at 18?
so we had a conversation about like how that looks and like man, it was some shit that like made me rethink a couple things that like they brought up. But like yeah, like that's the thing though. Like me at 18, like I always say the people that I know at 18, they either went to college or to the military, but there is a segment of the population that didn't go to either, right?
Yeah.
And I think people with kids would know this is that especially people with multiple kids would know this is that every kid has their own personality, and you will know if that kid is ready or not. Trust me, you'll know. You'll be like, this
Not
motherfucker.
no shit. I'm insuring. I be telling my son now, don't think you're gonna live here forever. Okay. I need my space. Like I'm not gonna
no, but see,
lie.
like your
You can
son
go to
though is
college.
comfortable
You
with
can go
that.
to college just to have a place to stay. Like I don't really give a fuck about college. But if college is gonna get you out my house, please go.
No, because like, look, your son will really be there.
No, because
forever.
he be like, but why? I'm like, you better talk to your daddy.
That's how you
They
know.
was
That's
good
how
at
you
it.
know. Like as far as the parenting relationship is, that's like I feel like a sign of a healthy relationship between your parents is whenever you do want to stay around. Because like, I mean, there are definitely those people who will be ready to get out at 18, but
I think girls are usually the ones who get out. Boys the one that stay.
I just saw a video
Girls
too
leave.
recently
It's
of
opposite for
someone
me.
saying that like that you have to like essentially parents have to kind of raise their different children differently because it's like even though you see that one child may not have that ambition, what are you doing as a parent to try and adjust that? You know what I'm saying? It's like this other child may not need as much guidance, but like, are you really putting in the work? Because I feel like, and this may not be the case for a lot of people, but there are times where I feel like maybe parents maybe didn't put enough, maybe not enough effort into that one child that really needed it, and then kind of hold that against them as they grow up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, you didn't become nothing, you should have been more like this. And it's like you have to know to cater to those things within your children. Like, now granted, when they grow to a certain age, they're gonna do whatever the hell they want.
No
You can't
facts. And
stop
I'm
that.
like, people gotta
But
get past that shit about like thinking they really like own their child or that they can really
yeah,
like because they're really their own people.
and that's what
Right.
I'm
Don't
saying.
put
Like,
so
you
much
have to
emphasis on
understand
something. It
your
will.
child as a person and
Which
do
is
your
very
best. Of course, do your best to guide them in the way that that child needs. You know what I'm
so
saying? But
The
once
thing.
you've done that effort, it's like,
Imagine,
I mean, they
imagine
have
you're
to be on their
conscious.
own at some point.
Like imagine you're conscious now, having had somebody that had been 20, whatever you are at this point.
You gotta watch
Like
what you.
God knows how long ago, and like they're in your life every step of the way. Like if you had someone like that, that would have an effect on your life at this point going forward. Absolutely. And so when you're developing from zero to like any point, you absolutely need somebody that's there to show you like, okay, this is what's fucking best. Like this is how to come. And then like aside from that, as a family name, like this is how we come. Like this is
Facts.
different. And like
Facts.
that's like that, but that's so important because then once they're themselves, that's a thing. Like I'm not just like me, I am just me, of course, but I'll never like not be. I stand on shoulders. I was thinking about that today. Like I stand on a lot of shoulders, to like be this person. But that's based on investment, bitch. Like investment of love, investment of like the care and the time and bitch. Sometimes life clocks you upside your fucking head, and that's because you're going the wrong way. It's not because life doesn't love you, but like you need to be clocked sometime.
Let me play this real
But
quick.
it's so interesting because I would say that like my mom, she's been mad at my brother, honestly, because he's 19. And so she's like, I wish he was kind of like more what you on. I'm like, girl, you can't even handle knowing what I was on at his age. Okay. Like you don't even know. You don't even know up until you got that call. I was pregnant. That's what happened when I was 19.
Jesus Christ. Let me
Okay.
play this for y'all real quick though. This is the comedian Ali Sadiq. He's from, matter of fact, shout out to Lionel. He's from A-Leaf. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to H-Town. He's from A-Leaf. He's from my
Interesting. I
hood.
never knew that.
Yeah, he from my hood. Here we go. Watch this.
You say to your children. Now I'm back living with my mama, and my mama has this slogan that she's been saying since I was 10 years old. You gotta get your ass out of here at 18. She been saying this as long as I can remember. Anytime something go bad, that's my mama go to. You know something? Don't even fucking worry about it, because you gotta get your ass out of here at 18. You should actually stop saying that to your children. Because see, that's something wrong to say. But then when that wrong advice, that wrong mentality gets met with a wrong situation. So hence, this is.
There you go. Man, start selling dope. Okay.
I said all that to what I was saying before this. I say all that to say I think that's dangerous. Like I think that's like a dangerous pressure. And like, cause for me, like it was always like our door is always open. Like our door is always open. Like no matter what. It's like you go out there, bitch, go hard, but you fall on your ass and you come here and it's open. Like it's good. Like you don't even gotta do that. Like I decided to do college. I wasn't forced. Like my parents were dropping me off 4.5 hours away. I was 17. They were saying like, literally, are you sure you want to do this? Like now is the time if you want to like come on, but you can still decide at any point. But like that should always be clear because I felt so safe. And like I have seen what it looks like to like be rejected or to feel like, and it's real when it's like you're already 18 though. And like that's a horrible fucking vibe and it's not natural. I don't know what that's of or where that comes from, but at the end of the day,
I'm like, but I guess you just like, I don't know, had it easy because I feel like I was so grown at 18, like, and like,
yeah, but you feel that way. But at the end of the day, what's important from the parent perspective is to like you could feel that way, and that's probably great on like parenting to get to that point. But like it's important, like no matter what, for it.
No, but it's probably not great on parenting to get to that point. Is what I'm saying.
But I feel like
they'd be like, "Oh, you're so mature."
But every child can be different, though, right, Naomi? Like every child can be different. Like there are some kids at 18 that are you can like trust. I've seen some kids that are like, yo, okay, they ready. But like again, it depends.
I definitely see my little brother, and he definitely
he ain't ready.
He's vanilla.
They like to think they ready, but they don't be.
No, like he's so just like young and pure. Like I was.
Okay, so here's the conversation that we had last night. We moved it from age to financial because we started talking about. I brought up the fact that like I knew several friends who were like Nigerian or like other ethnicities. What the
ethnicities?
There you go, that word. And they stayed home until they had a certain dollar amount in their savings account. Right? So they stayed home until they had 20,000, 30,000 saved up. And then their parents said, okay, now you can move out. Right? Because even though you might still mess up that money, at least you got some type of a nest egg that you built up. So like this meant that people that I knew, they stayed home until they were like 6, 7 years old. And the problem I had with that is that I went to college at 18. So I was at college at 18, 19, 20, 21. 4 years I was at college by myself. And I went to college far away from my parents to where I couldn't come home every weekend or every other weekend. I was like 12 hours away. So for the last 4 years, I've been coming and going as I please. Now all of a sudden y'all tell me I need to come home at a certain hour. No, that don't work for me now, right? So now I almost feel like I have to move out because like the life I've been living, I've been like kind of doing
You
my
do need to move out because you're grown.
I do.
Like, that's why people will start. Or I don't know.
I
Like,
think
'cause
it's more financial.
I think I would just need my independence, and I guess that would come down to like, how independent are you? Like,
Yeah, it's like
I had to be independent. Like, I don't really have like a dependable situation. Like, I wish I had a situation where I had parents that could always take care of me, and like,
Yeah, but that's
I
thinking
even
of survival, and that's the thing. We're not like in a space of like where it's like truly like just about safety and love, because you would never want to prematurely do that. So like bottom line, doors always open. Like there's no situation to where you say like no, or you're like
it
that's
wouldn't be no, but I mean, if you have to, like, why?
because for ultimately life is life, and like I don't ever doubt the fact that like you're learn like your kid's gonna learn things, and like you're not. And then also I have a different perspective because I like lost my mom, so like I can understand
Right.
the fact that like you have so much time. So like what you teach your kid is what you teach your kid. Like when you can be there for them is when you can be there for them, and like that's
Right.
always a given. So like the world is the world, and it's not sweet, it's not like the nicest thing, and it's not pretty, and like they're gonna have to get it for sure. So like as much as you can like provide, even if that is just like assurance of like
No, it's the
that's
independence.
why, listen, I've learned that like there's not anything else you can give to a person besides like support and love. As much as I want to like be inside the body of my loved ones and help you through this thing that's so hard, I can't do that. But the most I can do is like support you through that thing, and like support, and like some like rejection or like turning away, in my opinion. Because maybe like I don't think that's like the best thing, especially from like home. Because what does that feel like on the inside to a person?
No, you're such a Cancer. I love it. But
Hilarious.
no, because they're all about like the home and like that
The start of
family feel, like the mother of the zodiac for sure.
It's
Like,
like
so
start of-
I know I could definitely feel that. Like, so maybe I will stop telling my son that. He know he's fine.
Hilarious,
But like,
man. You telling your
but
son to get
I
out?
just don't want to coddle my child because I've seen it too many times. Like, because when is it cut off?
well,
You're
they
26 and you're still in my house.
Listen to me.
You're
Trust me.
26 and you're still in my house.
In
You're
your
30 and you're still in my house. No,
in your soul and in your subconscious. Don't worry about that, because
I'm
that's
a failure. I
You
would
don't
be like, fuck,
that
I
energy
failed. Like,
forward.
what did I do?
You don't have to put that energy forward. That's already in you. Like that's subconscious for you, and like that's even subconscious plus conscious. So putting that effort for you was a double down, and like could be like double downing when like ultimately that's already in you. Like so, just coming the way you are as a person would already kind of ensure that. So when you double down on that, that might do something extra. So you want to be aware of not shutting out and making sure that like you're still like always open in that sense, because it's home. That's the start of it all. People feel like they're alone out here. People feel like they're scavenging. They trying to scrape and scramble for any fucking thing. That's where they're coming from. And that's why we see half the things we see. When like you know that you like are settled in rocks, like to be anchored is a thing. And like that starts at home.
I don't know. I think I just need to be alone.
I think there needs to be a balance for sure. As far as the parenting side goes, there needs to be a balance, I think, between the two. I mean, if you're financially capable and, able to still, take care of your kids or, have that option of even letting them come back in the house, that's cool. I think there's definitely a different situation for everything for sure. Because sometimes that's not always the best solution, But like Nate was saying, like, you do have to understand that there is at least, again, it's different for everybody, whether you're going to have a cutoff time, cutoff age, or, like, what are you instilling in your children so that you don't have to worry about that? So you don't have to, it's a greater chance of you not having to worry about them having to come back home. What are you as a parent doing?
Proaction versus reaction.
Exactly.
So
and that's
life,
what
No, for
it is. It's all
real.
about balance.
like you show them that like this place
No, I would definitely
is magical.
support.
Like we work our asses off for all the things, anything that you can see and imagine. Like it costs $1 or $2 or $3 or $4 or $1,000, and like it takes work. And like so then you like make it real and like make it clear that like any experience comes from here and comes from like, you know, manifestation or hard work. So then like that's
teaching,
proactive versus like reacting and being like, okay, well damn, the clock is ticked. I don't need my neighbors looking at me like you got this grown ass kid in the basement, because that's a big pressure too. They be like, my neighbors or my friends, they're thinking, am I a failure as a parent? Like forget all that. Be safe and just be thorough.
And I think sometimes it's easy for parents to kind of think in the way that it's like, well, you know, I love my kids. I don't want to see them struggle. I don't want to see them da 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 da. But it's like, at the end of the day, you may just be harming them because you're not going to be around forever. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, what skills and tools are they really going to be able to live on and teach their own children about, you know? And that's even opening up doors for them to be in a situation that's not desirable for them, because now I feel like I have to depend on this person because I don't know anything else. And I have to stay in this relationship or this whatever situation it may be simply because I don't have those tools. You know what I'm saying? Like it can be definitely harmful, I feel like. So that's why I was saying, stressing like balance, being able to show that unconditional love, that it's like, yes, we will always be there for you, you know, but at the same time, we want you to be able to do for yourself. Like we want you to want things for yourself, to want success for yourself, and we're going to instill those values in you, those lessons, and that's where that comes in. You know what I'm saying? So all about all about balance.
No, that's
At
so
the end of the day, that shit's crazy. It's like
I mean,
parenting.
like,
Honestly, parenting be seeming so like, because it's just so much,
maybe that's
so
just
much time that is spent parenting, and then like I don't know. I had the type of parents who were like the like drilling into your brain kind of parents, where it's like that was my method of learning, and I feel like that's why I am where I am today, because like it was a constant repetition about what it is, like, you know, that they're trying to teach me, they're trying to instill in me. So it's like even something as simple as locking the door when you come in the house. Every single time I'm walking in the door, it's a pain in the ass probably as a parent for you to ask me every time, but guess what, as a 27-year-old adult in my own apartment, I will go into other people's houses and lock that bitch behind me because it's a habit, you know what I'm saying? And it's just how I was taught. Of course there are different methods, but
Right.
just saying that type of shit is like, those are the things that even though parents sometimes, and I know my parents will tell me all the time, like, I know y'all aren't listening, Actually, I do be listening. You know what I'm saying? There are things that, you know, you may not think in the moment that I am, but I actually took that shit on with me into adult life, and now I am kind of my parent. It's kind of crazy.
There's a science to it, a science to parenting. Like that connection just does, like, you know, there's influence on this hand, but then like an influence can do one thing, but then a parent like has a whole nother, that's another type of shit. Like that's a, you know, it's like that's something to be aware of. Like you come like that.
But I think the biggest thing is just the biggest like helpful tool, maybe. Like again, I said I'm just going by what I think I would do as a parent. I would just think that communication
no,
is
I'm
gonna
about to
be
say just listen to
everything.
your kid.
Yeah, just
Thank
like
God.
listen.
Thank God I got a kid who let me know. Like he will let me know straight up. Like I didn't like that. You said that, and I didn't like. Thank God you know,
Absolutely.
such a balance, because he even shows me how I need to like speak up for myself. But that's that Aries Libra, like, because sometimes he be too fired up, and I have to be able to calm his like, you know, like irrationally like upset, like it's not even nothing to be,
It's
you
a
know.
good
So
it's a good dance.
and see, I just couldn't imagine what it'd be like. And maybe I'm just talking as a parent of a 7-year-old who be getting on my nerves. Maybe by the time it's the teenage years, maybe it'll be even cooler, because maybe we'll both just like want to hang out in our rooms. Like I feel like I'm still a teenager. Like I just be wanting to be in my room, like
And that's interesting. I talk to
on my
parents
shit.
that
And
have
my son
teenagers,
should not let
and
me.
they have a hard time. Like at that point, like I talk to parents who are like parents of teens, and like they're like, "Oh my god, that's they're
No,
frantic."
facts.
And like, but like they were like, if I could go back, and so like you're kind of like, so maybe teens would be like, you're like, you're
No,
great.
that's what I wonder. Like, will I be freaking out? Because people always tell me that too. They're always like, no, like, you'll be so sad when he's not. I'm like, I don't know. I'm kind of a cool mom, and my son loved me. Okay, like, he a mama's boy.
No, I actually already been like have decided that my favorite stage for kids as they're growing up is like after they're about 11, 12 years old. You know what I'm saying? Because like They just be like, yeah, I mean, we kind of just be chilling, you know, at the same time, depending, of course, on the personality. But I know that if I were to, like, you know, become a parent, the baby stage probably be cool. And then I probably would be chill again later on after like 10, 11, 12 years old. Because I feel like kids, once they get to the age, that's when their little personality starts to come out. You know, they're really into their emotions and like, you know, really passionate about stuff. And it's just
So
like,
do you kick them out or no?
do I what?
Kick them out or no?
What?
So
Do
you
you kick your kids out or no?
Would I kick my kids out?
Yeah.
I don't want to say I would kick them out, but I feel like for me personally, I ain't gonna have that problem. I feel like my kids gonna be like, "All right, mom," you know what I'm saying? Like,
They're gonna be well equipped.
See, but I have a whole different feeling about parents kicking their child out. I feel like those
Yeah.
are two different things. And I've never really said directly to my son at 18, but I'd be definitely letting him know, like, you're not gonna live here forever. Unless I get on and I have a big house, okay, like where it could be some separation. I don't know, but you might have to, you know, because if I want to be fucking around my house, I need to be able to fuck around my house. I don't need to.
and I feel that. And
My-
I feel that.
I don't need my kid
Naomi,
walking around.
that's how you get them out. You just fuck around the house, and if they, nobody's gonna deal with that.
But
So-
they're gonna be like, we gotta move.
Exactly. You know what? With it.
Okay.
Like, bitch, I'm having a party. They like, my mama party every fucking
Exactly.
night. We gotta get the fuck.
No,
We gotta move out, bro.
Freshly
like, because
small orange
honestly,
juice at 5 a.m.
I
every
feel like-
morning naked. What?
Age, your kids gonna have to understand that. Listen, if you
Look,
decide
like
to stay up
on
in this
Baby
house,
Boy.
you
Like
decide to
Baby
stay up
Boy.
in this house, that's cool. But listen, I'm gonna be up in here doing what I want to do because I pay these bills. You're free to be here, but listen,
Let me say this. Let me say
still
this.
my house.
Your son does not want to hear Johnny Ray in there giving you that pipe. Trust me. He don't want to hear that old
You really
nigga.
don't want it. And like honestly, that's what I'm saying. Like I really hope and I have the faith that like I will have those different, you know, things instilled in my children. I want to inspire them to like really explore for real because that's something I wish I would have did more of at a younger age. And like I still can do it now. You know, I don't have really any crazy commitments locking me down, but like it just I wish I would have did that in my 18 through 22, 24
Right.
years. You know what I'm saying? So like that's what I would really be encouraging them for. And I honestly, I feel like the things that you do through, of course, throughout their childhood too, sets them up for what they're used to as adults. So like if we're always kind of, you know, traveling for vacations and doing different things, you know, it's like that you become accustomed to that. Now you're not afraid to leave the nest because it's like, okay, we've been places. I know what it looks like. I want to live here actually. I want to go to school here, you know, different things like that. So
No, facts.
I think
but I
exposure
know
is
that-
important too.
I know that like one of the things that I'm heavy on, like even just feeling right now, I don't know how long I'm gonna be here, like to be here for my son, and I gotta make sure he does know how to take care of himself. Like you gotta be able to take care of yourself at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Regulate your emotions. Start learning to cook. I be telling him, he be trying to say, I'm 7, I can't know how to cook. I'm like, I started cooking at 6. I'm like, so you actually need
In
to
the
catch
kitchen.
up. I've been in the kitchen, like, but that's the life of a Black girl, right? Like, but I'm like, no, you need to.
That was me too. Fucking
talk that talk.
Yeah.
I know, but see,
But that's
now,
how it should be.
like, how
As-
normal do we want to make that? Because that's coming from a survival space. Like that's coming from this.
knowing how to cook or coming from a
it's
survival.
Like yes, knowing how to cook, but from the sake of like the art, it's like culinary art. It's like the art of culinary. Not
Oh,
of like, bitch, I gotta be here, and like you don't know how long I'm gonna. You want to like you want to absolutely introduce it because we're coming like that, and like here's the beauty of this, and here's this, and like showing them. Just think Kanye, like in how brilliant.
But why you didn't think it was like that? I wasn't cooking because I had to stay at home by myself at 6 years old. I was cooking because I wanted to cook food. And we have to cook food. Like that is a part of our survival, our physical survival. We got to do that shit. You know, I'm actually trying to get off the food. I can't wait. And so,
well, you're not gonna die. You're gonna eat. That's period. Hey, it's just like we're like. It's
wait, hold on. I'm gonna go.
Bye, Torian.
All right, I'll talk to y'all later.
Peace.
He's good night.
We all getting ready to get up out of here for the night. Let me say this. I
We
want to
sure
put
is.
I want to put this up R.I.P. to Takeoff. We talked about Takeoff on last night on Tuesday's show, but you know, people ask me like, "Yo, we're gonna do another show about it tonight." I elected to not do a show about that specifically, just because unfortunately we're living in a time right now where rappers are dying like once a month, once every other month, and it's nothing. I don't believe that there's really much more to add to the conversation, right? Like what else can we say for an hour and a half? You know what I'm saying? Like it was unfortunate. It didn't have to happen. It was some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't I didn't feel like that we could add much more to the conversation. It feels like just yesterday we had a show about PNB Rock, right?
Yeah, we did
So,
recently.
so right. So it's like we know the problem. We know what's going on. Um, you know, it's unfortunate, man. Rest in peace to Takeoff. But I don't believe that there was the need for us to have a full show on that. I think that like the show that we had tonight, in my opinion, was much more important to the black community because it talked about family, it talked about unity. No disrespect to Takeoff at all. Because for all them for all the reports that I've received so far, he wasn't doing anything wrong. And I don't want to put this weight on Quavo, but the way that it seems is just like it is what it is, right? I do want to say this because I know that Takeoff was having he was in a weird space with Quavo and Takeoff. I know that the Offset, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
Offset,
what I was about to say.
I'm sorry, Offset was in a weird space with Takeoff and Quavo. I like to take this time to let everybody know. Listen, man, if it's somebody that you care about, that you love, trust me, man. If y'all have a disagreement, if y'all are in a weird space, please clear that shit up as soon as possible because you never know when that person, you never know when your time is up or when that person's time is up. And now, unfortunately, Offset has to live with this on his heart that Takeoff left this plane of existence without them to ever really reconciling. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
that's a lot to carry. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if you care about somebody, man, trust me, it's small. If you feel like you got to be a bitch, if you feel like you got to be lesser of a man, trust me, man, clear that shit up, man, and just like
And just so it's not so heavy on like Offset, I feel like the things between like Quavo and Offset, it's not like I think Takeoff and Offset like actually were like fine, like they
they
still
probably. I agree with you. Yes.
like they're on like normal terms. But, like I actually heard like they be in like the studio, like Atlanta people be saying that, but Quavo and Offset have like something, but it's still family, like nonetheless. It's like something we couldn't even probably imagine because we're not like it's like like having something with your cousin, like literally.
Well, Lionel, it's like having somebody with one of the four people on this screen right now, right?
Exactly.
Like I would never want to have anything with anybody on this screen right now. I would want to clear that shit up.
Right.
If y'all came to me and say, "Yo, listen, fuck it, I don't want to do no strings no more," I would implore y'all to try to. My first reaction would try to be to get y'all to continue to do it. But if you don't want to, that's your business. But with that being said, I would hope that we don't live on that we don't leave on bad terms because you just never know. You know what I'm saying? You just never know, man. And life is too short. Everybody should be out there enjoying life, especially when you at the stage of life that they was at. You know what I'm saying? You should be enjoying your life. And it's
Yeah, it's
sad.
crazy. He was 28. I always thought he was the oldest Migo. So it's crazy that he was my age.
Yeah, he was the nephew.
Yeah, I was always confused by that too. I was like, damn,
Yeah,
looks so grown.
it's sad, man. It's just sad. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what more can you say? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so many rappers,
It's
unfortunate.
death. It's
What
so
you
much
can say,
death.
what you can actually
It's
say,
so much
what
death happening.
there's a
Period.
lot that can be said. To be honest, there's a lot that
there's actually a conversation that needs to be had. It's just that we know what conversation it is. It's just what is everyone really about to do to make movement towards it.
And
Honestly,
and so what I'm gonna say is ultimately, like I said, learn love. Like if there's nothing else, like learn love, because there's just like a lot of other ways to come, and you don't want to come that way, especially towards your own, right? Learn love. But I feel like that's even too deep. Like then you have to say things in latent terms. Like stop fucking killing people, okay? That's not okay. Like do not kill your own people and then be mad.
Yes, please, Black people, stop murdering Black people.
Look at like the numbers, like they're way out of this fucking world at the rates. Like, and it's like, of course, like this is a one that everyone may know, but like this happens to somebody's son very often. Like we have to hear about this kind of stuff too often, and it's like a matter of stop thinking like guns are cool. Stop thinking coming like that is cool. Like the cool way to come is to grow family, grow, be like abundance and grow. Like that's the cool thing to do, and that's the cool way to come. Like grow your legacy, add to your bloodline, stop stealing from others. That's not it. That's very deep, and that's very much to answer to. That's heavy. Like get into something else. Let's literally live. Like choose life. What are guns? This tools of destruction. Look at them like that. Like love each other. For us, horrifying. But what am I? And what is this ever gonna do? This is the world. So what does this do? Well, I have faith still. I'll be a beacon of light until the end of time, because that's what it takes. And like we'll have to keep dreaming until we can like dream of the time that like it's not normal for people to kill each other. It's not normal to walk around with a gun. It's not normal to feel like you have to have a gun. That's not normal fucking shit. That's coming from a space of fear and survival. And I want people to practice love, to learn love.
That's fact. All right, man. Let's get about it for tonight. Next week, man, special guest, Dr. Umar Johnson, live right here with us on No Strings Attached, man. Y'all submit y'all questions. We're going to talk about Black relationships. I want to talk about polygamy with Dr. Umar Johnson as well, man. Whatever else y'all want to get into, we'll talk about it, man. We'll have him here, right here on No Strings next Wednesday. Let's go, man. We about here for the night. Thank y'all, man.